Prime is brought to you by Misho, TVS Jupiter 125, Zada Se Bhi Zada, Vimal Ilaichi, Oil India Limited, Everyday Spices, Leah Agarbatti, TVS Apache RTR, and Himalaya Purifying Neem Face Wash, Pimple Free, Healthy Skin Ka Expert.
Situation tense in Manipur's Churachandpur following arrest of rights activists. Protesters take to the streets, burn vehicles. Section 144 imposed. Core Committee on Naga issue holds key round of discussion in Kohima. Crucial meeting with NSCNIM leadership before the 31st of May. Getting closer to solution, indicates Core Committee member Neba Kronu. Violence rocks Lilong in Manipur's Thobal district. Several injured as protest demanding justice for deceased local gets violent as protesters try to storm into police station. Meghalaya Chief Minister Conrad Sangma refuses to review border deal with Assam. Chief Minister Sangma also informs of cabinet decision to raise liquor prices to increase revenue. And Jammu and Kashmir separatist leader Yasin Malik gets a life imprisonment in terror funding case. Hello and welcome to Evening Prime. I'm Ronak and we start the bulletin with the top focus from Manipur. The situation is volatile in the state's Churachandpur district, with protesters taking to the streets demanding the release of activist Mark Thangmang Haukip, who was arrested by a joint team of Manipur and Delhi police for allegedly inciting hate between communities through social media posts. Haukip, who is also the president of Manipur chapter of an organization called the International Human Rights Association, is currently being brought to the state. Earlier in the day, protesters numbering in hundreds marched to the Deputy Commissioner's office in Churachandpur, demanding the immediate release of Haukip. Angry protesters also set a vehicle on fire as police struggled to control the situation. Take a look.
Until Dr. Haukip is released, because the way he's arrested is unfair. It is a discrimination between the tribals and the people in the plain area. So we won't tolerate this discrimination. This protest will not be stopped until Dr. Mark T. Haukip is released.
And it may be mentioned here that the situation turned volatile when the protesters took out a rally despite the district administration denying permission. Police had to resort to firing in the air to disperse the crowd. The protesters, meanwhile, briefly resorted to stone pelting. It may be mentioned here that earlier the supporters of Dr. Haukip assembled in front of the Churachandpur district police station, protesting against the summon order issued by Manipur police towards human rights activist and president of the International Human Rights Association Manipur chapter, Mark Thangmang Haukip, and demanded for the immediate withdrawal of the summon order. Reportedly, the summon order was issued to Dr. Haukip on the grounds of inciting communal enmity through his social media handles, including his Facebook posts. He was arrested under Section 153A of the Indian Penal Code. Meanwhile, speaking to Northeast Live earlier in the day, Manipur DGP P. Dongel informed that Section 144 has been imposed in Churachandpur district headquarters to control the situation.
Right now we have declared 144 around the place where the procession is to be taken, and our people also have taken police people have taken posts in different places. However, the crowd is dispersed, but they are in different pockets inside the town. But since they are scattered and without proper leader. So the situation that way is under control. But the procession is not being allowed to go out from peace ground. That is the situation.
So indeed, the big development from Manipur that we have been tracking today, viewers, is volatile situation prevails in the state's Churachandpur districts, where the district with protesters taking to the streets demanding the release of activist Mark Thangmang Haukip, who was arrested by a joint team of Manipur and Delhi police for allegedly inciting hate between communities through social media posts. Haukip, who is also the president of a Manipur chapter of an organization which calls itself the International Human Rights Association, is currently being brought to the state. Let me also tell our viewers here, early in the day, protesters numbering in the hundreds marched to the Deputy Commissioner's office in Churachandpur district, demanding the immediate release of Mark Haukip. Angry protesters also set a vehicle on fire as police struggled to control the situation. It may also be mentioned here that the situation turned violent when the protesters took out a rally despite the district administration denying them the permission to do so. All right, and to bring us all the latest updates regarding this big development, I'm being joined now over the phone by my colleague Henry from Churachandpur. Henry, the situation has been volatile throughout the day. However, as we just heard from the DGP a while back, it has now been finally brought under control with Section 144 being imposed in the Churachandpur headquarters. What further details do you have for us regarding this incident? Henry, over to you.
Yeah, thank you. The situation in Churachandpur is actually very tense. However, very tense. And then just before the declaration, the promulgation of this 144 CRPC, the leaders of the protesters have reached an agreement with the DC, and accordingly, the memorandum which has been drafted in the name of this International Human Rights Association have been allowed to be submitted to the DC. And this is done with respect to other districts also simultaneously. That means at the same time, all other districts, DC and the protesters in other districts were also receiving the memorandum. And after the DC has promulgated 144 CRPC, and then a while ago, from about 5 p.m., the situation comes somewhat better because the volunteers and the protesters were made to or convinced to remove all the barricades and blockades that they have erected on the streets at various places. And vehicles and other normal activities were allowed to be carried on.
Right. So, Henry, guys, since 144 has been imposed in Churachandpur district headquarters, what is the current situation prevailing in the district right now? Are things peaceful right now?
No, actually the situation is very, very tense, and there is a likelihood of any kind of things to happen, because the public is still hell-bent on their demands to ensure the release of Mark Thangmang Haukip. Until and unless he is released, as we have heard today from the interview that we have taken, they were determined to struggle, to fight on. So, it may even happen tomorrow also that another round of agitation will be spearheaded.
Yes, thank you very much, Henry, for joining us at this point in time and bringing us all of those latest updates. And it was not just Churachandpur where violence was reported from but violence was also reported from Manipur's Thobal district as well. A general strike called by a joint action committee over the alleged murder of a local resident turned violent when protesters were marching towards the Lilong police station. Several protesters were injured in the clash with the police. The Joint Action Committee, or JAC, had called a general strike demanding stern punishment for 3 accused in the killing of Kori Mayum Abdullah from Yairipok Changdambi Mayai Lekai. He was found dead on Sunday after he went missing on the 16th of May. Hailing slogans demanding justice, a large group of angry protesters marched towards the Lilong police station, where they were confronted by police and commando units. A clash broke out in which several protesters sustained injuries. It may be mentioned that 3 individuals had reportedly surrendered at the Lilong police station in connection with the case. Earlier, the All Manipur Muslim Development Committee had also urged upon Chief Minister N. Biren Singh for prompt action into the case and appealed for transparency in the investigation. So viewers, another big development from Manipur that we have been tracking is not just to the Chandpur district, which has witnessed violence, but violence has also been reported from the state's Thobal district as well. A general strike called by a joint action committee over the alleged murder of a local resident turned violent when protesters were marching towards the Lilong police station. Several protesters were injured in the clash with the police. The JAC had called a general strike demanding stern punishment for 3 accused in the killing of Kori Mayum Abdullah from Yaripok Changdangbi Mayai Lekai. He was found dead on Sunday after he was missing on the 16th of May. Hailing slogans demanding justice, a large group of angry protesters marched towards the Lilong police station, where they were confronted by police and commando units. A clash broke out in which several protesters sustained injuries. It may be mentioned that 3 individuals had reportedly surrendered at the Lilong police station in connection with the case. And earlier, the All Manipur Muslim Development Committee had also urged upon Chief Minister N. Biren Singh for prompt action into the case and also appealed for transparency in the investigation.
Police Dhrava.
Yes, viewers, as you can clearly see on your screens, a protest which turned violent after protesters in Manipur's Thobal district clashed with police and commando units who were demanding justice for the alleged murder of a local resident who goes by the name of Kori Mayum Abdullah. Well, protesters were heading towards the Lilong police station, a large group of angry protesters, as is clearly evident, and who ultimately clashed with police personnel who tried to bring the situation under control, and subsequently several protesters sustained injuries in the clash with police. All right, it's time for a short break now. More news and updates to follow on at the other side. Stay tuned. Northeast Live, the most viewed news channel in the region. On YouTube, unmatched coverage.
চাওচোন কোন নতুন খেলুৱৈ আহিছে
বুজাই দিম আজি
মৰমেৰে বুজাম লাহে লাহে কৰি
তেওঁ আমাৰ মাত কথাই কয়
এয়াতো আমাৰেই মাত কথা
যদি এক তেন্তে হৃদয়ও এক হোৱা উচিত বিমল কক ভাষা কেশৰী
আনন্দৰ উৎসৱ বিহু আহিছে ঘৰে ঘৰে আহাৰৰ সোৱাদ জাগিছে Everyday Spices wishes you a happy Bihu.
आओ यहाँ बार बार खेलो झूमो कूदो यहाँ मस्ती में बड़े छोटे साथ आओ ऐश करो नाचो मस्ती में आओ यहाँ बार बार खेलो झूमो कूदो यहाँ मस्ती में
Northeast Live, most viewed news channel in the region. On YouTube, unmatched coverage. Evening Prime, the primetime news at 7. Now, in a whole new look. Only on Northeast Live. Your station, your voice. Northeast Live, most viewed news channel in the region. On YouTube, unmatched coverage. Evening Prime, the primetime news at 7. Now, in a whole new look. Only on Northeast Live. Your station, your voice. Northeast Live, the most viewed news channel in the region. On YouTube, unmatched coverage. Evening Prime, the primetime news at 7. Now, in a whole new look. Only on Northeast Live. Your station, your voice. Northeast Live, the most viewed news channel in the region. On YouTube, unmatched coverage. Welcome back, viewers, and on to the big story from Nagaland now. The core committee of the Parliamentary Committee on the Naga political issue held a crucial meeting in Kohima today. Talking to Northeast Live after the crucial meeting, core committee member Secretary Neba Kronu said that the panel will now meet the NSC and IM leadership before the 31st of May. Kronu informed that post the meeting with NSC and IM, the core committee members, led by Chief Minister Nephew Rio, will visit Delhi again for a meeting with Union Home Minister Amit Shah. As per sources, the core committee will have a frank discussion with the NSC and IM on the supposed Government of India offer on flag and constitution. Listen in. Yes, viewers, the big development from Nagaland that we have been tracking today, the core committee of the Parliamentary Committee on the Naga political issue held a crucial meeting in capital Kohima today. Talking to Northeast Live after the crucial meeting, core committee member Secretary Neba Kronu said that the panel will now be meeting the NSC and IM leadership before the 31st of May. Neba Kronu informed that post the meeting with the NSC and IM, the core committee members, led by Chief Minister Nephew Rio, will be visiting the national capital again for a meeting with Union Home Minister Amit Shah. As per sources, the core committee will have a frank talk with the NSC and IM on the supposed Government of India offer on flag and constitution.
Core committee, we had a meeting, and this time both our MPs also have attended the meeting. And as you know, this political issue, we need a threadbare discussion. And therefore, we are coming closer and closer. The government of India also happen to understand our issues. and then we understand their difficulties also. But whatever it may be, we're becoming closer. And then once again, we have decided to meet our NASEAN leadership again. After that, also, if necessary, we may discuss with NNPGs also. And thereafter that, we will go to Delhi again. Yeah, and then meet the Union Home Minister. And then after that, we will see.
When are you likely to meet the
No,
INC?
this is we are trying to meet them before 31st of this month.
Okay.
Yeah.
When we expect something before 15th August or at least by 15th August?
Well, let us hope for all the best. Yeah, yeah. For any problem, there's a solution. So this time we are hopeful that we happen to understand each other's problem, and then let us hope for the best at the earliest.
All right, and to give us more details, I'm being joined now over the phone line by our news editor, Nabrun Goswami. Nabrun, a very crucial meeting of the core committee of the parliamentary committee held in capital Kohima today. What further would you like to add at this point in time, Nabrun?
Yes, Ranak, very important, crucial meeting here. This meeting is especially important because finally there seems to be a roadmap. Our roadmap seems to be clear as far as the path to the solution to the Vex Naga issue is concerned. We also heard the neighbor saying, well, there is hope this time, specifically, there is hope this time. And of course, we had K. Ninu, the UDA co-chairman, who was who told Northeast Live yesterday as to what could be the possible offer of the government of India, and if that is acceptable to the CNIM, they can go ahead and plan the future course of action, which will of course be to compile a common draft basing on the framework agreement and the agreed position, which will also be drafted after consultation with public representatives, and then it will be taken to the public. Now that will come later. First is today's meeting, of course, was crucial. I'm sure the core committee members have decided on the content of the discussion with the NSCNIM, which is slated to happen before the 31st of May. It may happen by May 29th because, of course, we all know that NSCNIM has also called for a crucial meeting of its own cadres and leaders by May 31st. We expect this meeting with the core committee may be held before, as Neighbor Colonel said, before the 31st of May. That meeting will be very crucial. What we are given to understand is that the core committee will have a frank talk with the NSCNIM, like the way Nenu put it yesterday. Probably they'll tell the NSCNIM either take it or leave it. That's exactly what the UDA co-chairman and member of the core committee had to say. So definitely it will be a frank discussion with the NSCNIM as and when before the May 31st the core committee members meet. Following that, again, the leaders will go to Delhi, will meet Indian Home Minister Amit Shah. So a lot depends on that very crucial meeting with the NSCNIM, but definitely all said and done, Ronak, we can say that there is hope round the corner. Finally, things look rolling, and we may hope for a solution very soon. Of course, even a couple of days back, this seemed a distant dream, but things have changed. A lot of developments over the last 24 hours, especially the visit of the core committee, the recent visit of the core committee members to Delhi was very significant. They had frank discussions with the interlocutor A.K. Mishra, with the NSCNIM leadership. They had a long meeting with the one member NSCNIM delegation, and what was discussed was conveyed to Northeast Live by UDA co-chairman K. Ninu, and well. It seems finally there's some clarity on what could be the way forward. But having said that, again, it seems like everything, the ball is now in the NSCNIM's court. They have to decide whether they want to take the offer. However, let me also clarify once again, there is no official statement, there is no official remark from the government of India side on any of these offers. This is what has been conveyed to Northeast Live by K. Ninu, UDA co-chairman, and probably the Naga statute may find reflection in the Indian constitution in some form or the other. As far as the flag is concerned, it will be a cultural flag, and which has been the stand of the government of India all along. And of course, another big revelation was that of the regional autonomous territorial councils.
for Nagas outside Nagaland. There is Nagas in Manipur, in Arunachal, which may be funded directly by the center instead of the funds being routed through the state government. So a lot of these, but then again, Ronak, everything will boil down to the very crucial meeting with NSNIM of the core committee. Of course, the core committee and all the stakeholders here, they are not the negotiators, let me tell you. They are only facilitators, but definitely they will have to convey a message from the side of the Naga people. The Naga people are losing patience. They want solution. They are yearning for solution. It is time for solution.
So, Nabran, coming to my second question, something which you've already touched upon, there's a big development as far as the flag and constitution demand is concerned, with the center at first not ready to budge at all on trying to entertain this demand, but now seems to be a little bit more flexible. So, can we say that, the roadmap to the solution is getting more clearer now? It seems we've lost the connection with our news editor, Nabran Goswami. We will connect to him again shortly. But in the meantime, let me once again tell our viewers the crucial development coming in from Nagaland at this point in time, a development that we have been tracking all the day. Crucial meeting of the core committee of the parliamentary committee held in Kohima today. And now all we have to look forward to is another very crucial meeting with the NSCN-IM leadership that is slated to take place before the 31st of May. It's time for another short break now. More news and updates to follow on the other side. Stay tuned. Evening Prime, the prime time news at 7. Now, in a whole new look. Only on Northeast Live. Your station, your voice.
Oh, ba? Oh, ba?
অপূর্ব ভ্যারাইটি অপূর্ব মূল্য ডাউনলোড মিশো
Salmonella.
অ্যাবসেন্ট
Perfect attendance.
নিমৰ শক্তি ভৰা নিমাইলে আঁতৰাই 100টা বেমাৰ বিয়পোৱা বীজাণু নিমাইল ঘৰ বিশুদ্ধ ঘৰ
आओ यहाँ बार बार खेलो झूमो कूदो यहाँ मस्ती में बड़े छोटे साथ आओ ऐश करो नाचो गाओ मस्ती में आओ यहाँ बार बार खेलो झूमो कूदो यहाँ मस्ती में
আনন্দৰ উৎসৱ বিহু আহিছে ঘৰে ঘৰে আহাৰৰ সোৱাদ জাগিছে
Everyday Spices wishes you a happy Bihu.
সাধারণ স্টিল এনেকৈ পৰে মাইথন স্টিল এনেকৈ পৰে ধমকৈ
Northeast Live, the most viewed news channel in the region. On YouTube, unmatched coverage. Evening Prime, the primetime news at 7. Now, in a whole new look. Only on Northeast Live. Your station, your voice. Northeast Live, most viewed news channel in the region. On YouTube, unmatched coverage. Evening Prime, the primetime news at 7. Now, in a whole new look. Only on Northeast Live. Your station, your voice. Northeast Live. Welcome back, viewers. You're watching Evening Prime. Before we continue, let's have another look at the headlines. Situation tense in Manipur's Churachandpur following arrest of rights activists. Protesters take to the streets, burn vehicles. Section 144 imposed. Core Committee on Naga issue holds crucial round of discussion in Kohima. Crucial meeting with NSC-9 leadership before the 31st of May. Getting closer to solution, indicates Core Committee member Neba Kronu. Violence rocks Lilong in Manipur's Thobal district. Several injured as protests demanding justice for deceased local gets violent as protesters try to storm police station. Meghalaya Chief Minister Conrad Sangma refuses to review border deal with Assam. Chief Minister Sangma also informs of cabinet decision to raise liquor prices to increase revenue. And Jammu and Kashmir separatist leader Yasin Malik gets life imprisonment in terror funding case. Welcome back, viewers, and on to the big story from Meghalaya. Chief Minister Conrad Sangma, while addressing the media, categorically stated that there will be no review on the historic Assam-Meghalaya border agreement signed between the two states. Sangma pointed out that people should understand that a wrong messaging could do and what a wrong message could do, and reiterated that villages not included in the initial list of disputed areas have not been featured in the final list. The Meghalaya Chief Minister said that hence the question of them being transferred to neighboring Assam does not arise.
I have said it again and again that the review is something that is not going to happen. We have gone ahead with this agreement, and I'm happy to meet them if they would like to meet and discuss the matters with me. And last time also, I'll just give you a very, very small example. This again is something that is a question that needs to be understood, and I think people will understand that what the wrong messaging can do. So there was a village that came, and now the list that was there was 23 villages. Now, when the committee went into the field, 36 villages were actually met, because at that point in time everybody just came. While we went into those 36 villages, I can't remember the exact number, but of course I remember 13 were not in the initial list of disputed areas. So then we realized that out of these 13, so exact number I don't remember in this one, that there were some which were already in Meghalaya, and there were some which were already in Assam. They were never part of dispute. Now what happened was, when the final list came out, the villages that were not in Meghalaya were not included in the list. But that does not mean that those villages are not in Meghalaya, because they were already in Meghalaya. So the two states said, well, the villages that are not in the disputed zones, why do we include them in this thing? And we can't include because the list was made final in 2011. So when the villagers of this one village came to me, and they were very upset that they had been left out, and they said, we were always part of Meghalaya, we've always been there, how come our list was not there in the areas of the areas that were sorted out? So when that happened, I asked them, where is your village? Show me the point. So when they showed me, I told them, you're already in Meghalaya, you're never in the disputed area, and there's no question of you being sent anywhere. So what I'm trying to say is that they thought that because their name was not in the list, they thought that they had been sent to Assam. But the point is that those villages were among those list of 13 which were already either in Assam or in Meghalaya and never were part of the disputed area. But because their name did not come in the list, they thought that they were being left out and being sent to Meghalaya. So when they left my room, after 1 hour of discussion with me, they were very happy. So like that, there are many such instances where there's a confusion as to what's happening. So we're happy to clarify to them.
And when asked about the timing of the second phase of talks on the remaining 6 areas of difference, the Chief Minister said that discussions are on and the two states are yet to finalize a good time to deliberate.
We'll see. We'll discuss. We have been speaking to each other, but we have not been able to find a great time. So many issues are there, and I think Assam also has some elections coming up. So once all these are over, I hope that very soon we'll be able to initiate the discussion for the second phase.
Shifting focus to Mizoram now, the swearing-in ceremony of the new MNF Congress Alliance executive body for the Mara Autonomous District Council was held today. Mizoram Governor Haribabu Kambampati has given the green signal to the Mizo National Front and Congress Alliance for the formation of the executive body of the MADC. It is to be mentioned here that Mizoram Congress's H. Malvina is the new CEM of the MADC, while MNF's HC Lalmal Soma Zasai is appointed as the Deputy CEM of MADC. The MNF Congress Alliance has been given a 2 weeks' time to prove its majority by a confidence motion. The MNF and the Congress forged a post-poll alliance on the 16th of May, days after political stalemate following the declaration of the council poll results. Meanwhile, Mizoram BJP has emerged as the single largest party in the MATC elections, winning 12 seats. On the other hand, the MNF bagged 9 seats, while the Congress won 4 seats. Yes, viewers, the big development coming in from Mizoram at this point in time, the swearing-in ceremony of the new MNF Congress Alliance executive body of the Mara Autonomous District Council was held today. Mizoram Governor Haribabu Kambampati has given the green signal to the Mizo National Front and Congress Alliance for the formation of the executive body of the MADC. It needs to be mentioned here that Mizoram Congress's H. Malvina is the new CEM of the MADC, while MNF's HC Lalmal Soma Zasai has been appointed as the Deputy CEM of MADC. The MNF Congress Alliance has been given a 2-week time to prove its majority by a confidence motion. The MNF and the Congress forged a post-poll alliance on the 16th of May, days after a political stalemate following the declaration of the poll results. Meanwhile, the Mizoram BJP has emerged as the single largest party in the MADC elections, winning 12 seats. On the other hand, the MNF bagged 9 seats, while the Congress won 4. Moving on now, in a big success in the war on drugs, police in Tripura's Amtali seized contraband worth rupees 5 lakh today. On the basis of specific information, Amtali police intercepted an SUV in front of the Amtali police station while the vehicle was trying to enter capital Agartala from South Tripura. During checking of the vehicle, police found 78.5 grams of suspected brown sugar concealed inside 6 soap cases hidden in the vehicle's handbrake cover. Speaking to the media, officer in charge of Amtali police station, Siddhartha Kaur, who led the entire operation, informed that the consignment is worth around 5 lakh rupees in the market. Meanwhile, the driver of the vehicle, identified as Om Prakash Shaw, who is also the owner of the vehicle, has been arrested under relevant sections of the NDPS Act, and further interrogation is currently underway. And in another success for Manipur police, a large quantity of contraband was seized in the state's Chandel district on Tuesday. As per inputs, a team of Special Commando Unit and 43 Assam Rifles and personnel of the Chakpi Karong police station, led by Sub-Inspector Bungsan Koko Anal, were conducting joint patrol along the Indo-Myanmar border when they received information regarding the movement of drugs. However, the vehicle in question bypassed the joint patrolling party by taking an alternate route. Subsequently, backup parties were alerted who managed to detain the vehicle. Upon checking the vehicle, 186 soap cases containing suspected brown sugar were found hidden in the back seat. Furthermore, a sum of rupees 49,620 in cash and 5 mobile phones were also seized. Police also arrested 5 persons who were traveling in the vehicle, who have been identified as Sepin Thang Haukip, Ngamin Lung Guite, Semin Lung Guite, Semin Lal Guite, and Dokose Mate. Meanwhile, the arrested persons, along with the seized contraband, were handed over to the Chakpi Karong police station for further legal action. On to the big story from Assam now. Father Stephen Mabley, the main accused in the George Bordole murder case, has been sent to another 2-day police custody. Well, Father Mavli, who is also the Vice Chancellor of the Don Bosco University, was produced before the CJMM court today. The court looked into the new developments as presented by the investigating officer and ordered the accused to be put on under 2 days of police custody. Note here is that Father Mavli had been placed under arrest yesterday and had been produced before the CJM court, where he was put under 1 day of police custody. Today, he was produced before the CJM court again, as his police custody was set to expire. Meanwhile, the suicide note of George Bordoloi has been sent for forensic analysis. As per Guwahati East DCP Sudhakar Singh, the police is awaiting the forensic report, after which they would take the next course of action.
Regarding the case of Mr. George Bordoloi, we have seized a suicide note, and in the suicide note, it was mentioned that the in charge of the Don Bosco University or the school there in Sonapur was responsible for his death. That they had some some quarrel regarding the land issue. There was some land issue and so on. So as his name was mentioned, so that in charge Don Bosco school was picked up and for questioning. The forensic report, we have not yet received it, but we have asked for it. So when the forensic report comes, then we'll know about it.
So viewers, a big update as far as the George Bordoloi suicide case is concerned, with Father Mavli, Stephen Mavli, the main accused in the suicide case, has now been sent to another 2 days of police custody. Father Mavli, who is also the Vice Chancellor of the Don Bosco University, was produced before the CJM court today. The court looked into the new developments as presented by the investigating officer and ordered the accused to be put under 2 days of police custody. Noteworthy here is that Father Mavli had been placed under arrest yesterday and had been produced before the CJM court, where he was put under 1 day police custody. Today he was produced before the court again, as his custody was set to expire. Meanwhile, the suicide note of George Bordoloi has been sent for forensic analysis. As per Guwahati East DCP Sudhakar Singh, the police are now awaiting the forensic report, after which they will decide on the next course of action. Well, Guwahati-based entrepreneur and actor George Bordoloi allegedly died by suicide on Monday, leaving behind a suicide note where he blamed Father Mavli, the Vice Chancellor of Don Bosco University, of abetting in his suicide. Worth mentioning here, Father Mavli earlier accused Bordoloi and his son of destroying property of Don Bosco University and even filed an FIR against the duo. Bordoloi allegedly took the extreme step after he could not bear the allegation, which he said is false and fabricated, in the suicide note he left behind. And on to a big update from the Assam Bhatta Dhrava arson case. Police have arrested 2 more persons in connection with the violence where a mob torched a police station. The 2 arrested persons have been identified as Mujibur Rahman and Ashraf Ali. Both the persons have been arrested based on video footage of the incident. So far, police have arrested a total of 34 persons in connection with the arson case. Meanwhile, Yasmin Khatun, who was the main person who set fire to the police station, is still absconding. Yes, viewers, another big update coming in at this point in time, and this time it is from the Bhatta Dhrava arson case, with the police now arresting 2 more persons in connection with the violence where a mob torched a police station. The 2 arrested individuals have been identified as Mujibur Rahman and Ashraf Ali. Both the arrested persons have been arrested based on video footage of the incident. So far, a total of 34 persons have been arrested in connection with the incident. Meanwhile, Yasmin Khatun, who was the main accused who set fire to the police station, is still absconding.
Search operations pisot duta aru Asami arrest kora goise. Ejoner naam Mujibur Rahman aru ejoner naam Ashraf Ali. Tekhet hokolok ami ei duta Asamik ami video footage opra identify korisilu. Tare ejon Asami mane marpit kori thaka obosthat teo footage ase aru ejone amar police station attack kori thaka অৱস্থাত দেখা গৈছিলে আমি এতিয়ালৈকে টোটেল 34 আছামী আইডেণ্টিফাই কৰিছোঁ ভিডিঅ' ফুটেজ এনালিচিছৰ পিছত চ' এতিয়া আমাৰ টোটেল এৰেষ্ট হৈ গৈছে 8টা আৰু বাকীখিনি যিমান ৰিমেইনিং আছে আমাৰ চাৰ্চ অপাৰেশ্যনছ কণ্টিনিউ থাকিব আৰু গোটেইখিনি আমি কৰায়ত্ব কৰিবলৈ আমি চেষ্টা চলাই আছোঁ
And well, sensation prevails at a Panchghari village in Assam's Silchar, where a woman has been reportedly killed by her in-laws over dowry demands. The deceased, identified as Bappi Begum, was brought in at the Silchar Medical College and Hospital yesterday, where she was declared brought dead. The deceased's father has alleged that her husband, Akhtar Hussain, and her in-laws have murdered her over dowry demands. In fact, as soon as Bappi Begum was declared dead, her husband and in-laws fled the hospital, leaving her body behind. The deceased's father has also alleged that she had been subjected to torture by her in-laws after marriage over dowry demands. He also filed a case against 4 members of Akhtar's family. Meanwhile, police have now swung into action over the matter and have arrested all the members of Akhtar's family based on the FIR.
আজকে যেটা অমানবিক কাণ্ড হয়েছে বাঙ্গারপাড় জহিরুল ইসলামের কন্যা বাপ্পি বেগমকে গত 1.5 বছর আগে ইসলামিক রীতিনীতি মতো এই মেহেরপুর এটা পাঁচগড়িতে বিবাহ হয়েছিল 2 মাস মোটামুটি ভালো কাটছে তারপরে তো টর্চারিং শুরু হয়েছে যৌতুকের দাবি করা হয়েছে ওনার পরিবারের মানুষ আছে জড়িত বিভিন্ন অভিযোগ আছে এর আগেই ছিল মেয়ে দিয়েছে ওনার শাশুড়ি ওনার বাসুর ওনার শ্বশুর সবাই পরিকল্পিতভাবে হত্যা করেছে কিন্তু এটা দেখলেই আপনারা বুঝতে পারবেন এটা কোনো ঝুলন্ত মরদেহ না এটা পরিকল্পিত হত্যা করা হয়েছে
It's time for another short break now. More news and updates to follow on the other side. Stay tuned. Northeast Live, the most viewed news channel in the region. On YouTube, unmatched coverage.
চাওচোন কোন নতুন খেলুৱৈ আহিছে
বজাই দি মাঝি
অনামেৰে বুজাম লাহে লাহে কৰি
তেওঁ আমাৰ মাত কথাই
এয়াতো আমাৰেই মাত কথা যদি এক তেন্তে হৃদয়ো এক হোৱা উচিত বিমল কক ভাষা কেচৰি
সাধাৰণ ষ্টীল এনেকৈ পৰে মাইথন ষ্টীল এনেকৈ পৰে ধমকৈ
आओ यहाँ बार बार खेलो झूमो कूदो यहाँ मस्ती में बड़े छोटे साथ आओ ऐश करो नाच गाओ मस्ती में आओ यहाँ बार बार खेलो झूमो कूदो यहाँ मस्ती में
Northeast Live, the most viewed news channel in the region. On YouTube, unmatched coverage. Northeast Live, the most viewed news channel in the region. On YouTube, unmatched coverage. Welcome back, viewers, and on to the big national focus now. Kashmiri separatist leader Yasin Malik was today sentenced to life in prison by a special Delhi court. The National Investigation Agency had demanded the maximum punishment, that is the death penalty, while the defense pleaded for life imprisonment. 2 life sentences and 5 punishments of 10 years of rigorous imprisonment each have been awarded. All sentences are to run concurrently. A monetary penalty of over rupees 10 lakh has also been levied, lawyer Umesh Sharma said. Different prison sentences and fines have been awarded for different cases. Yasin Malik now has the option to appeal to the verdict in the High Court. Well, Malik had earlier pleaded guilty to all the charges, including those under the Stringent Unlawful Activities Prevention Act, or UAPA, in a terror funding case. A special NIA court in Delhi pronounced its verdict on the quantum of punishment in the case. During the hearing, Yasin Malik had argued, why would the Indian government, led by Atal Bihari Vajpayee, give him a passport and allow him to travel and speak around the world if he is a criminal? Malik also said that he has followed the principles of Mahatma Gandhi ever since he gave up arms back in 1994. He even challenged the Indian intelligence agencies to point out if he has been involved in any terror activities or violence in the last 28 years. Parts of Srinagar witnessed a shutdown today in anticipation of the verdict. Shops and other business establishments were shut in some parts of the city. However, the public transport and private vehicles were operating normally. Stone pelting and protest demonstrations were reported from a few of the places, and police had to resort to firing tear gas shells. Security officials have been deployed in these sensitive areas of Srinagar to avoid any law and order situation, officials have said.
In the morning, there was this argument on order of sentence. Basically, argument was advanced by the NIA. Then, basically, a chance was given to Yasin Malik. The court has permitted him to basically say, and Yasin Malik has already, pleaded before the court that he has not basically. He has said that मैं ज़्यादा कुछ नहीं बोलने वाला हूँ. आप जो भी सेंटेंस देना चाहते हैं आप दे सकते हैं. And but he has said कि I have been a non-violence leader, political leader in the country, and I have never basically raised this thing to divide the country for any reason. And I have been worked with 7 Prime Minister of India. And lastly, basically, when Atal Bihari Vajpayee was there, so I have been even given the passport. तो उन्होंने ये कहा था, फिर उसके बाद कोर्ट ने ऑर्डर रिजर्व किया था. उन्होंने ये भी बोला था कि कोर्ट जो है ये सब चीज़ों का ध्यान रखेगी while giving the these are the basically mitigating factors which court has to take care. Then अभी 3:30 बजे के लिए कोर्ट ने ऑर्डर प्रोनाउंस के रखा था, बट सिंस ऑर्डर वाज लॉन्ग, सो अभी अब जाके 6 बजे. सो बेसिकली ऑन ईच सेक्शंस 10,000 हुआ है, and maximum punishment of life imprisonment. What will be the further proceedings, because he has pleaded guilty, so there will be not much thing. That we'll see.
On to another big story now. In yet another bomb for the Congress, a senior party leader and former Union Minister Kapil Sibil dumped the Grand Old Party after he filed the nomination as an independent candidate for the Rajya Sabha, supported by the Samajwadi Party. Taking the media by utter disbelief, Kapil Sibil informed he resigned from the Congress on the 16th of May and is now an independent voice. Notably, this is the latest high-profile exit from the Congress and the 5th in the last 5 months. Well, Sibil is known to have close ties with the Yadav family as a senior advocate. Sibil had argued in January 2017 at the Election Commission that Akhilesh Yadav should get the bicycle symbol. This is the latest high-profile exit from the Congress, the 5th in 5 months. Sibil resigned a day after the Congress brainstorming session to discuss a roadmap for the party's revival after a series of devastating election defeats. Sibil, an ace lawyer who was amongst one of the senior-most leaders of the Congress, was amongst the G23, or Group of 23 dissenters, who had called for a complete overhaul of the party's leadership and organization in a letter to party president Sonia Gandhi 2 years ago. He had also been vocal and increasingly sharp in his criticism of the Gandhi's leadership in recent months. And with that, we've come to the end of our news bulletin. Stay tuned to Northeast Live for more news and updates. Thank you for watching. Northeast Live, the most viewed news channel in the region. On YouTube, unmatched coverage.
চাওচোন কোন নতুন খেলুৱৈ আহিছে
বুজাই দিম আজি
মৰমেৰে বুজাম লাহে লাহে কৰি
তেওঁ আমাৰ মাত কথাই কয়
এয়াতো আমাৰেই মাত কথা যদি এক তেন্তে হৃদয়ও এক হোৱা উচিত বিমল
কক ভাষা কেচৰি
সাধাৰণ ষ্টীল এনেকৈ পৰে মাইথন ষ্টীল এনেকৈ পৰে ধমকৈ
आओ यहाँ बार बार खेलो झूमो कूदो यहाँ मस्ती में